Notepad and on and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be working on TITS more. Can I say that even? Yeah. So we're going to be working on TITS. Totally isn't Tron, I swear. And from last time, few things have changed. Not many, but a few. Double checking all the notes. So scroll all the way up here when it comes down to, I said when we come down to frames, what I ended up doing was sort through all the frames. I'm turn it down. Let me just double check this sound. No, that's a little bit too loud. Right there. Perfect. I went through the frames, and outside of alphabetizing them, I assigned something called a frame value. Now, if we go all the way up here, the frame value is relatively simple. It's your armor plus your durability divided by 5 plus your mod chip slots plus your movement times 2 for each boost and times 5 for each ability, and to determine a what can I best describe as a rough concept of how balanced a individual frame is. Civilian frames have a slightly different one, but the main meat of things are when it comes to military frames. So, for example, the tier 2, tier 1 military frames have an average frame value of 18, but they can range from 16 to 20. However, if you go down to here, it raises pretty significantly. It goes to 22 to 26. And finally, we have the tier 3 frames, which go from 26 to 32 with an average of about 29. Now, why I did this was because, one, I hate myself, and two, hopefully this will enable different frames to be made relatively quickly, because you can then base everything around that frame value. If you want to have a frame to have a lot of abilities, it's going to be have a higher frame value than something. Feels like you should maybe double the results so everything else can be cheaper. Oof. What do you mean by that? Because the BYC costs are pretty much a method just for me to get a rough idea, and it is pretty exponential way you go up. Because if you have, let's say, 5 stack jumpers, 5 times, 5 times 40 is, that's already 200 out of a potential, very, very limited amount of BYC, and this isn't even detailing. For equipment and such, frames should be the most expensive thing. Yeah, to a degree. But how things are going to be working is, one, you have to worry about all the attribute die and all the attribute values, coupled with the BYC values for the frames, coupled with the function values, coupled with I want people to be able to actually afford these things and not just be immediately turned away with like these 3-man stack jumper squads. That's what I'm worried about if I start raising the cost a little bit too much on frames. But that might just be having to be a thing where I go through and double check everything. Oh god. Ah. True, I can. But I'm trying to keep BYC down to a value that's understandable. I'm thinking about 500, 600. That's kind of my average thing for a normal game. If I start raising the price, things can get a little bit out of hand, because again, I don't know what the costs are going to be for equipment yet. If I'm noticing, what I might have people do is just make a few lists and see what people are gravitating towards. People are gravitating towards high amount of stack jumpers rather than detailed stack jumpers. There might be some cost issues there. If I'm noticing people are one thing is having equipment, mod chips, weapons, and demons are more lenient on price, while frames and functions are the big investment generally. Yeah, that's kind of the basic concept. The stack jumper themselves you have to purchase. Actually, I gotta remember to actually add in. Add that in later. I get what you're saying. It's mostly these are just basic prices I can just have as of right now, because if I don't have prices for something, it's kind of hard to base things off later. There is a method to my madness, I swear. So, okay, we got all these. So what we're going to be working on today is functions more than anything. I hit the wrong button. Notepad, please. Yeah, once I get things moving along, probably when I hit equipment, I'll start throwing it at some people. I'll throw it at a few people to see what they're seeing. What am I looking for? now comes the really unfun part. Otherwise known as functions. So if I'm not very chatty tonight, it's been a little bit of a quiet night for me. And that means I'm not feeling too hot, but don't worry, that's the fun part. So let's see, we want assault. All right. Where did I get the term black hat and white hat? In the hacker community, which sounds like a complete pretentious thing to say, but it's the most accurate thing I can. Black hats and white hats are pretty much how you approach things. Black hat hackers are the guys who, well, do some asshole things for asshole reasons. They're what people commonly associate to be hackers, while white hats are a lot nicer, and they're usually the ones who do things for better reasons, just usually in different ways. IT security guys occasionally reference themselves as white hats, and some of the times that's what they are. They start out as. If you want a more culturally significant method, those are the names of the good guys and bad guys. Westworld, which was named after those concepts, black hats and white hats. How do I want to handle functions? Well, okay, the initial idea of functions was that pretty much your function, more abilities equals more abilities from higher tier frames. If I'm a tier 3 frame, I'm going to have 3 abilities from the function. But if I'm in a tier 1 frame, I'm only going to get 1 ability from the function. So it does encourage you to invest heavily in, to have those higher tier frames, but the downside being you have to invest in those higher tier frames. You're spending a lot of money for... Hello, neighbors. If I could see it in my head, how do I want to handle it, though? That's kind of different. We can either go straight abilities or just things to do. Or do we actually, if we go with the active, passive. So yeah, we can do active, passive method. And then we have the passive, active, passive, active, passive, passive, active, 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 passive, passive. So these are our 4 methods. We have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we've got 11 functions. So what we can probably do is, we'll call them mixed actives. That is true. Active, 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 active. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, well, if we do is so we do uniform, active. This is mostly for me, not really in gameplay terms. This isn't going to be coming up. The thing is, A2, P2, P2, A2s. No, this is for me writing the abilities, because I'm going to need to write probably 4 tiers of these each minimum, and there's 11. I'm going to have to write 44 abilities at the end of the day, so I need to have I need to know what the hell I'm doing going forward. Everything's going to have a universal pricing. It's going to be 10 for the first, 20 for the second, for 30 for both. With the really high tier frames, you know, obviously going to be 10, 20, 30. But if you're getting 3 functions in a single frame, you are doing something right, and you're probably going for a tentpole. So, because if you're going for tentpole strategy, that's going to be, again, your strategy. That's the thing you are basing everything around. Is I'm going to have one stack jumper whose entire job is to win me the game. Probably we're going to go to a P2A2 here. Black hats probably are going to be at A2, P2. More actives, you know, active, passive, active, passive. Engineers, probably. Goliaths probably be uniform. Passives, Judas. What's the Judas? Judas or glitch people? Not even single stack jumper strats. Pretty much it's what I mean by like a tentpole system. What I mean by tentpoling is, for example, actually so I have one character. So one character is the character. The entire strategy hinges on this one person. If they go down, the game is already lost, kind of thing. And every other character simply is a support for that one. It's, for example, having, let's say, a tier 4 stack jumper who is an assault ranger. Actually, we can probably do an assault ravager. And we don't even have any tier 4 frames yet, but just to get as an example. But then you have, character 2 is an engineer. Character 3, white hat. Character 4, doesn't have anything, and they're all in tier 1 frames. Everyone else is disposable, but as long as the tentpole survives, you can win. On the good news is that character is not going to die. You're going to invest a shitload of points into them, and they're going to be, without them, you are not, that's how you win. They're going to have the best equipment, they're going to have the best tools, best everything. And everyone else is supporting them. You can sacrifice the Black Hat, you can sacrifice the Meat Shield, you can sacrifice everyone else, but you cannot sacrifice him. On the other hand, the other player is going to see that. They're going to want to focus in on that character. So it becomes kind of a game of, can I survive effectively with my single character? If I can, cool, I'm going to win. If I can't, well, I ain't doing too hot. So Judases are information traffic glitches to plague the mainframe biting against their opponents. We can probably make them a uniform active. Juggernauts, they are... Give them the uniform. Note singers are Daemon hosts. We're going to make them P2A2s. Rangers, long distance fighters, we're probably going to make them A2P2s. Ravagers, active passive. Silent assassins, we're probably going to make them P2A2s. And finally, white hats. P2A2. There we go. All right. You're gonna have to buy your hacks. Hence why I don't really want to jack the price up too much. There's going to be some which are going to be specific, but a majority of your hacks you're going to have to actually buy ahead of time, as it's kind of like buying your spells or buying your equipment. So if you want to go a hack heavy build, you're going to need to invest in it. You want to go a weapon heavy build, you're going to have to invest in it. That because I don't want any one method to be better than any other. If you want to play hide and go seek with with those, I mean, go for it. Let's see. Let's start with the assault. What is the assault going to be? Okay, actually, I'm gonna have a P2A2. Okay, we'll give him running gun. Actually, the assault during a dash action is able to make a snapshot for their second simple action. Action mid dash, mid move. So we're making that a passive because that's just a thing you can do. Focus fire. We'll call it just no. Adds no. All firearm into all firearm damage. Assaults are supposed to be scary. That's my kind of the idea behind them. They are. Yeah, I can see that. So let's think. So an active ability for the assault. Oh. So if I'm an assault. Oh God, what's Actually, the assaults. It's up to 3 targets within range with a. Actually, this would be a complex action. The assault attacks up to 3 targets within range with a snapshot. With a ranged weapon of any size. With a ranged weapon in their possession. The idea being, I'm literally going to stand there and have my arms snap to who I need to kill. And finally, the big boy ability. What would be a good big boy ability? How do I want to word this? Running gun, I'm making a... halfway through a dash move, I can shoot. Focus fire, I'm going to be adding just flat damage to all my firearm damage, because I am a good assault and I'm going to kill you. Spray and pray, I am literally standing in the middle of things and holding down the fire button and praying. And what would be a good... what if I want to be assault man? Larger firearms. No. Oh. No, not dash shot. We'll call it, what's it? I can see it in my head. What I want to do in synthetic, I do it all the time. It's pretty much when you dash and blow someone's fucking skull off. It's a one simple stroke move. What am I wanting? What am I looking at here? Slide burst, that's what I'm looking at. There we go. If they kill the target, refund the simple action. So the idea being, as a slide burst, you literally slide in there, shoot someone, and then you could slide again, shoot them again. It's pretty much boom, 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 and then you'll quickly being able to reposition yourself on the field because you are a heavy assault motherfucker with a fucking like chain shotgun. All right, so now we're gonna be working with Black Hat. So pretty much your tier 1 ability is going to be effectively your tier 1 ability is going to be your bread and butter. That's just going to be something you're going to be able to do on like 95 on every single frame you get. You're going to be able to do that. Tier 2 is going to be your really rare stuff. Tier 3 is going to be not really common at all, and your tier 4 is if you're going to be tent poling. If you're an assault and you want to be the main focus, yeah. If you're pretty much, this is tier 4 is this is going to be the only person who can really do this. I'm going to be able to afford about 1 tier 4 reliably. You can, at most, you're probably going to be able to afford 1 tier 4, maybe a tier 3. And that's not going to be a good tier 3 either. It's just going to be a good frame. If you want to heavily invest in your 1 tier 4, this is a method. So that brings me to Black Hat. Okay, Black Hat's active, we'll call it. What's a good techie term for pretty much overclock? Yeah, actually I can call it that. Actually, called Jack Jump. Jumps the hack into an opposing stack jumper. So pretty much they're going to be able to do bump, and what we could do is split hack for complex action. Split hack doesn't seem effective, but what it means is, all right, so I am here. I'm going to try to run out of the way so they can't get me if I know the hack's already, getting, edging closer to me. However, if you split the hack early, it's pretty much, all right, I have one going left, one going right. If either hits me, my brain's going to get fried. Oh, geez. So, okay, we can do passive, which is, what we can do is siphon memory, and from here what we can do is Black Hats want to offensively hurt people. We're cutting corners. Gram cost. By 2, that means we're going to make most 1 or 3. The Black Cat, if infecting, actually the Black Hat remove. Actually, I know how I want to do this. I know how I want to do this. We'll cut split hack. That's actually a pretty good one. I'll go with that. The Black Hat have an increased range of 2, and once it hits the target, has an area of effect. I should say Black has offensive hacks. Have an increased range of 2, and once it hits the target, has an area effect of 3 hexes. So it's going to be... So it's going to be in the immediate one and then one around them. So yeah, you can infect a lot of people with it. But again, that's going to be your tentpole. That's going to be... That's your big boy one. You're basing a lot of things off So let's do the engineers. You're passive active, so you have passive active, passive active, passive. So frame repair specialist. Durability increases. The engineer reduce. Actually, the engineer reduces durability fixing equipment. Actually, what I can say is the engineer increases the uses. By, we'll call it null for now. I want to do that. Let's go to actives. Three, two. There we go. Snap it into place. Active. Active repair module. The engineer, if adjacent to an ally, may restore. I will call it, we'll actually call it resolve. No, grid work plus D6 durability to the frame. So pretty much it's, if I'm adjacent to you, I'm going to use active repair module, and I'm going to see what my grid work is plus a D6. So if I have a grid work of D6 and I have a D6 durability, I'm going to be restoring 3. I'm going to restore, I rolled 3 twice. I'm going to restore 6 durability, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it does add up. I'm going to try to avoid revives. I want things to be pretty damn lethal. But, alright, let's... Scrapper. The engineer. Do I want to do this? Oh, actually. During a move action. May drag an allied stack jumper. Space is equal to their MV, equal to the engineers. And along with them to reposition them freely. The idea being, like, I'm an engineer. I'm going to have a shotgun and I'm going to have a dream. My job is to stay close to my allies and patch them up. If something goes bad, I'm going to literally attach myself to them and drag them out of danger. True, true. Actually, I know what I'll probably end up doing. Jumpstart complex. And it starts a fall and stack jumper. Restoring grid work plus D6 durability to their frame, to the frame, and restoring them to the fight. To the fight, they will shut down. Yeah, they will count as being defeated for victory conditions. Yeah, okay, there we go. So the idea being that if I'm an engineer, I'm going to quickly jumpstart my friends up. They're not going to be able to really... They're not going to be good. That's the idea. It's going to be whatever your grid work is. And so probably going to have a higher die, but it's going to be me at getting 5 health up on someone real quick. And if the victory condition is, destroy stack, stop stack jumpers, even if they're alive at the end, they're still going to be counted as defeated. Like, they're now... Actually, that's not a bad idea. Restoring the... Actually, it still counts as being defeated for victory conditions. Jump stops falling, restoring D6 to the frame. They are treated as a demon. Demon as of the engineer. Because what that allows them... Because what that means is if the engineer goes down, they're going down too. So you're pretty much reviving someone. You're zombifying them. You're not dying yet on my fucking watch. So if you're an engineer doing that, you're being kind of a fucking psychopath and keeping your friends alive to keep throwing them into into the wall and hoping that they die quicker. Goliaths. All right. Goliaths are all passives. So, passive. Dealing how I started streaming a bit late. Let's see what time it is. Yeah. Okay. Probably I'm going to see if I can't get down to Juggernaut tonight and then to finish the rest up just through the night. Just because I started a little bit later, so let me see. Goliaths. Sentinel. The Goliath. If they do not move, it's +3 armor. Actually, no, gains A +2 to all FS and M. Up. Goliaths, if they do not move that turn, doubles their frame's armor value. Doubles their frame armor. Let's see. team, the Goliath. If they do not move that turn, acts as light cover for all allies. Actually, what we can do is we can act as a medium cover for all allies. So if you're a bunker bot, if you are a bunker bot, choose Goliath. You're going to be counting pretty much as, actually, you wouldn't want to choose bunker bot as a Goliath. You want to be something else probably because you're already a Goliath, pretty much a free Goliath. Yeah, so the thing is, a Juggernaut is going to slam right in there. They are going to sit in the middle and not die. Goliaths want to kind of like sit behind cover and just not move. A scary Goliath is going to be paired with something like an assault, where they're going to be able to sit back and just put their gun out and hold down the fire button. They're going to be very good with things like rangers. Like a ranger Goliath is going to be able to hang back, take pot shots, and not die. Because that's one thing you got to remember, is that you can pair all of these together. If you really want to, you can be an assault engineer and just keep repairing yourself. Actually, what I should actually put that, to themselves. Yeah. Because, yeah, gotta remember, all of these can work together. And that's why, like, I'm thinking about putting Shield of the Team right here. Because a tier 3, what you can do is pair it with other things to pretty much act as a moving wall. Unless I want to pair that. What I can do, we'll put armored up with armored up here, and then put Shield of the Team here as number 2, and then with Sentinel +2 to FS and +2 to MS checks. So that means they're pretty much going to be able to do a lot of damage pretty quickly. So what would be, again, their tent pole? This is the what do I want to... Systems, the Goliath, if adjacent, the Goliath grants all adjacent allies. Grants all adjacent allies. Actually, if I want to. Actually. The Goliath. The Goliath can free. I'm trying to think of what I can see what I want to do. The idea of the Goliath is they want to sit back and they want to just... That's what I'll do. Pillbox. It would be restores. There we go. Goliaths are going to be a pain in the ass to kill, but that's the entire point. What they trade for in pure, what they trade for in ability and raw damage, what they can do is sit down in the middle of the fight and not die. If you have an engineer, you can hide an engineer behind them and just have a pillbox bunker in the middle of in the field. But also think about if I want to play a Goliath engineer who can heal himself while shooting and restoring his own durability. Like, yeah, I don't feel like dying. Yeah, no, Goliath and Juggernaut I will be the beefiest fucking frame. That they're not supposed to die. Which brings me to Judas. Judas's uniform actives. What do I actually want to... Harmony. A glitched out node or terrain. Usable by... But yeah, usable by their allies. Oh, Jesus, they're getting cursed. The Judas. Glitched out node usable by allies if they are within, we'll say, 5 hexes. The Judas, if within 5 hexes of the glitch, is able to spread the glitch. 1d6. Well, actually, it'll be resolve hexes of their choice. So the idea is that the Judas is fucking with the terrain and fucking with things. They're the ones spreading glitches around, being able to kind of shift it around. They're a bit chaotic and a bit weird. So let's see. Does this even show up? How fucked up are we wanting to go here? Yeah, let's keep... the Judas. They're in the terrain. Glitching out of terrain within 3 hexes of them. I don't even know yet. That's the funny part. I have an idea for it. But that's what I do here. I kind of just make it work. Oh, God. How cursed do I want this? No, we are not making it binary. Oblivion. Actually infects a stack jumper or demon within 5 hexes of them. After the end of the next turn, they will explode. Infecting all adjacent tiles, all adjacent hexes, glitching out all adjacent tiles and the one they are standing on. Now, the Judas does not help you. That's the funny thing about a Judas, and that's how I kind of want to get across the idea of their broader concept. They're a Judas creature. They are both helpful and wholly damaging to you. They're the ones who will, if you want to use a Judas correctly, you're going to be infecting your own allies, and you're going to be sending them to their deaths. Because the thing, you have Harmony, which actually I'm going to probably make a simple action as kind of one of your basic ones. So the idea is like Oblivion, yeah, I'm just going to continuously throw my allies at you, have them die to glitches, and then have me just walk in there and succeed. Like, again, I'm gonna make it so. Oh yeah. They are dangerous to their own team, because if you don't have multiple Judases, you're only going to have one you're going to be able to do Harmony twice a turn. So you can do 2 tiles or interact, two hexes, or interact with 1 node that's glitched out, which is going to be dangerous. It's going to be, all right, we have 2 actions to, move in there real quick, open things up. But do you want to do that? They're kind of an area denial tool, but they're also not an area denial tool, and they're slowly infecting the field, but making it harder for the enemy, but also harder for you, but also a little bit chaotic. Judases are not supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be very not fun. Which brings me to the Juggernaut. Juggernauts want to move in there and swing and not die. They just get passives. Actually, Notepad needs to use the little robots room. Moshi, I am alive. Okay, we've got 5. Get the Juggernaut done. Okay, that's the goal for tonight, get the Juggernaut done. So, the Juggernaut, we will go for... Paladin programs. Increases their armor. Now, let's see. How do I want to word this? I want the Juggernaut to be able to survive, just be able to run up there and just cause chaos inside of it. The Goliath wants to hang back and take pot shots or just be an annoyance. Juggernaut is why I want them to be actively moving. Oh, I know. If the Juggernaut ends a movement adjacent to an enemy, they may choose to move the enemy 1 hex. Now that includes something like the Doomba, where you just fucking yeet yourself at high speeds at the enemy. Yeah, you want to play a Doomba Juggernaut? Go for it. Let's see. We want to do... reinforcement protocols. Adds there to... I want to give you a guess there, Killers. What do you think? What happens when you get yeeted off the edge? The answer is death. Painful, painful death. Don't get yeeted. Oh, actually, I know. We'll call it Paladin Protocols. The Juggernaut doubles the previous, actually doubles reinforcement protocols, Paladin protocols, bonus. Doubles the reinforcement protocols and Paladin protocols bonus. And I'm probably going to have to put a note there for the Juggernaut. So what I mean by this is, let's say I have a RS of, RS of D8. I'm going to be adding +8 to it, which does mean at its most you're going to get 12, and if you get unkillable, it's going to be 24 extra durability, which is almost like a full thing, and 24 extra armor. Like, yeah, I don't feel like dying today. That's the unkillable, thing. Like, I don't want to die. But that's good if you max your resolve. Yeah, that is true. I can switch those around. Yeah, there we go. So the idea being that mostly the one thing that I have to consider when I'm making weapons is when it comes to... Actually, do I add half RS? One half RS attribute to their armor. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. So if you have a D8, you'd be adding... So if you have a D8, you'd be adding 40, or actually, no, fuck it. No, fuck it. This is your tentpole. This is your thing that you want to do. But the idea being that if you have an armor-piercing weapon, if you have an armor-piercing weapon, which I'm probably, what I'll probably end up doing is making things like, higher tier energy weapons just bypass armor. What they're going to be a hell of a lot more exposed. Yeah, I'll think about that. I think one of the key ideas what I want weapons to feel like, because again, if you're investing in a tier 3 juggernaut, you have no offensive capabilities unless you go for like an assault on top of that. But if you're going to an assault on top of that, why don't you just go for something else to maximize your damage? That's kind of the issue with the juggernaut, is like a juggernaut ain't gonna win you a game, and it still allows you to get body checked. All the armor and all the health in the world is not going to help you if you just get fucking decked and shoved into a glitch. And it's like, well, I'm fucked. well, poo. I guess I'm dead. I don't even know how I want to handle armor yet, to be honest. I'm going to be perfectly frank with you. It was a placeholder. I just need something. But, alright, I think I'm going to call it there. I'm going to get the Node Singer, Ranger, Ravager, Trojans, and White Hats done tonight, most likely. Just letting the day go by. And once those are done, I feel a little bit better about myself. So that does mean... Let's see... let's see, we actually moved along with frames a little bit faster than I had originally planned. So if we attribute things to, say, and functions aren't going to take that long as I thought it was going to either. Like, these were the two big humps, to be honest. Like, those were the two big, like, oh God, help me issues. But those kind of wrap themselves up a little bit easier than I had originally planned. So... Okay, probably next week we can shift focus, start doing equipment. That's probably going to be like next week in general, just going to be equipment. Things go according to plan, we may be able to finish up next week. I think that I'm going to aim for that, going to be my goal. Next week, next Friday, I want TITS to be done. Little bit of a lofty goal. I may have to do a notepad must die, but I think I should be able to get most things out of the way. It's a lot of the equipment and a lot of that. It's just going to be just me writing, just endless amounts of gun 1, gun 2, gun 3, gun 4, gun 5, gun 6, and just hammering it out. And one of the things is, since I have the frame value system in place, if you or anyone else has an idea for a frame, you can make it and put it in. That's one of the reasons I put in the frame, frame creation system, the frame value system in general, which should be helpful. So if we get equipment done Monday and Wednesday, we can probably hammer out the entirety of career mode and war zones on Friday. Worst case scenario, absolute worst case scenario, we take next Saturday and do it and just finish it off. That's worst case scenario. Then, let's see, after this, we move on to... God, what is next? Is it Fear and Hunger next? No, it's Chimera Dreamers. It's High Speed Death Machine next. Things should be going pretty smoothly there. Nah, nope, I must die. Gotta go fast. But, alright. Godspeed, good luck, everyone. Hopefully, you all have a wonderful... I hit the wrong button because I'm an idiot, and I am away.